What's up, everybody? Benja Well Done coming at you live. My camera looks a little smoky. Let me try to... Oh, it's a little bit better. Huh. Alright. Pretty sure it's better. So, what's going on, everybody? It's a beautiful Monday, 5:46 in the morning. Just got finished going to the gym. It's going to be a great day today. You know, last night, today being Monday, yesterday being Sunday, I was laying in bed and telling myself, you know, I had been doing, working on comedy writing for a large portion of the day, and in a similar way to like how champion fighters, and I'm not blowing myself up, I'm just saying, say, you know what, my opponent's probably training. I always have that thought process naturally, so I'm telling myself, you know what, I should be still working on comedy right now. Because even though I was taking a break and I was about to go to bed and everything, I'm just so in fifth gear at all times. That's a reason, and again, not blowing myself up, just starting this early, getting this out, that's a reason I know confidently that I'll be a great comedian. Because if what you say on stage is 100% what's based off of your writing, the better you make your writing, more, you know, thought you put into it, and it's just like a kind of like a trickle-down effect, you know. And I put a lot of thought into. I'm a wordsmith to the fullest, you know. I set up my material, my one-liners, my stories, my taglines, everything very, very detailed, and that's just basically, in a sense, how I craft my material, to have that controlled chaos, which is something that I've said before. And knowing my material when I'm actually, even before I get on stage, even for open mic, so once I get on stage, I'm not really working on knowing what to say, because I already got that out before by rehearsing. But I'm also free to act and react in the moment. So, yeah, I wish I could just, if I had the possibility of staying home, like, all day, which is, you know, what I do on Saturdays and Sundays, and just work on comedy writing, then I would be doing more open mics than twice a week, because that's all I do now. The first day, I've said it before and I'll say it again, first day I go out there, I mean, the first day, just called day one, I'm writing my material. Second day, and you know, just pretty much working on it, whatnot. Second day is doing that, memorizing it and whatnot, what I got so far, and making some minor adjustments. And then the following day, using that material on stage at an open mic or wherever. Okay, well, I guess it would be an open mic, because if it's a showcase or a show, I already have it like clean and tight. Then the fourth day, I evaluate, because I always record my stuff, what worked and what didn't. You know, when I'm on stage, I'm really just sort of working on timing at that point, and delivery and stuff. And the fifth day, I listen to what worked and I make those adjustments. And then that sixth day, I take that new product that I made from the previous recording, those adjustments, and I have them applied, and then it's the newer version of it, and then on and on and on as the cycle goes. And the last day, I might have skipped a day, but whatever. In the last day, but that, I mean, that's just pretty much it, you know. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. I love it so much, but me having a day job and whatnot, I can only do it twice a week because of how much I really do divide everything equally between like writing and, if you think about it, stage time is probably what you spend the least amount of time on. How do you spend like an hour on stage a week and 12 minutes of writing? You know, I mean, go figure. I mean, but everybody's different. Some people, believe it or not, some people don't write anything. They memorize it all on stage as they're going through. They just do multiple reps. But I just like having things in front of me. That's the reason I always have like a Microsoft Word document, so I can shift stuff and group stuff together and move it around, and always add little taglines, and I know where I'm at, so I always remember everything, and I just have it all like exact. So anyway, but yeah, it's sort of weird to logically say something that's truthful if it's positive information, because it almost seems like you're bragging or being arrogant or something like that, when that's not the case. It's not the case at all. You know, in my opinion, when people say I believe in myself, I am super technical, as I keep mentioning with words. When I hear somebody say that, you know, oh, I believe in myself, to me, you know, I understand what they're saying, I understand what they mean, but in my opinion, you can go, which is what I do, one step past that. And maybe it's just based off interpretation, but for me, it's more than just belief. I know it. I know I'm going to be a great comedian. There's no, like, positivity behind it, and it's not confidence. It's fact. Because I put so much thought into everything. I'm practicing when I'm getting washed up in the mornings. I'm practicing, you know, everything just evolves around it, truthfully. And if I had more time to dedicate to it, that means I would do equally more writing and equally more stage time. But right now, twice a week, it works out perfect for me. And if it would be an additional day of the week, it would be the actual show, like a showcase like I did this last weekend. It was really good. I had to break through some barriers as far as noise pollution goes, because it was a rowdy group. It was a lot of fun. It was a show for the veterans and whatnot. Ironically enough, I am a veteran. But anyway, it was a great show. But yeah, I had to break through some barriers, just because it was like kind of rowdy, and it was like a bar and a lot of really talkative. But I believe I did pretty well. I started out by roasting people and making fun of them, and that got everybody's attention pretty quick. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, so that's all I got for now. I actually got more to say, but I got something to do. I gotta make this, I gotta do some stuff. Not being secretive, I'm just not being public about it. You guys have a beautiful day. I'll check you out later. Peace. And we're back. Another day. What's up, everybody? Ninja Well Done coming at you live. So in my last video, I said I'm not being suspicious. I'm just not being public about it. No secret, but here it is. I trained jiu-jitsu, and that's all I was doing. I figured, for some reason, I told myself like there was no reason not to mention it. I just didn't. But then I kind of like later figured that, hey, maybe it'll look like I'm doing something bad, so I should just say it. You'll see other posts or mentions or something like that about me doing jiu-jitsu. Just noticed that audio is kind of bad. Anyway, yeah, I was just doing jiu-jitsu, and in case you don't have a clue what that means, it's basically the mixed, no, it's not the mixed, it's the martial art, primarily from Brazil, started in Japan, where basically it's grappling. Imagine like wrestling with submissions. That's what it is. So a lot of fun. I love it so much. Having a blast. Great class. But anyway, what's going on, everybody? See, my camera's a little crooked. Got some crazy days, crazy ages. Got some wild stuff going on. It's 2019. We got a president who might be impeached, might not. He tweeted like there was a news report the other day that he tweeted like 11,000 times. 11,000 times total. That's pretty significant. It's not bad. I can't hate on it, you know. So what are you gonna do? The only reason I mentioned that is just because it was so funny. Just thinking how he had this one Instagram post where it said, all it said was 2 words. It said like, impeach this. And it was a picture of the U.S. electoral map from when he won the election. and it was like the whole country was like all red, representing Republicans. He just had 2 words to send pizzas. Oh, he's so hilarious. I don't care if you like him or if you hate him. I'm not being political, but man, if that was anybody else, you'd be laughing your ass off. Seriously, I hate how he can't even be laughed at. I mean, like, I don't mean like made fun of, but I mean like I hate how people can't even like appreciate the humor that we have a commander-in-chief. He uses Twitter, Instagram, and talks mad trash. I love trash talk, provided by it's good. Like, you ever heard somebody like be really bad at trash talking, like your hair smells sometimes like cigarettes, maybe. Just like horrible ass, like, oh man, president, he is funny as all hell. I don't got too much going on right now. I'm just on my way back from jiu-jitsu. I do it after the gym. So yeah, I go to the gym, work out for an hour, and then I do jiu-jitsu. It's kind of a tough one to say when you say it fast, when you do jiu-jitsu. But yeah, aside from that, I'm just keeping on, maintaining, grinding, hustling, doing some stuff. I'm really trying to start to sell tickets. There's a city, and I'm just gonna break it down like this. It's like 20 minutes away from me. All right. It's called Arlington, Texas. There's another one, a little bit bigger, well known, but regardless, you might know Arlington. You should definitely know Dallas, Texas, right? Dallas is about 45 to 50 miles away. Point is, one of my shows is in Dallas. I don't live anywhere near there, so it's being interesting because I really got to hustle to try to sell these tickets, so that I can get paid and to fill the seats and everything like that. Because I don't have anybody that lives in Dallas, so that's kind of a challenge. Not even a challenge, it's just like something that I'm working through right now. The only time I ever go anywhere near there is like on very rare occasion. Yeah, I have a friend in Arlington, and I hang out in Arlington quite a bit, so I can kind of get people to the midway point. But so far, I gotta be pretty boisterous and start convincing people and be extra charismatic, because to get someone to drive 15 or 20 minutes away is one thing. 5 minutes, that's a whole other. It's super convenient. But on a Thursday, on a work day, which is when the actual, pretty sure that's when the show is, but anyway, to drive like 50 miles, yeah, I need to start building a base in Dallas too. So yeah, trying to see if there's anything else going on. I got Memphis coming up in a few weeks. Really excited about that. That'll be a lot of fun. And and I got a show tonight. Super excited. I'm doing this thing called the Bodega Showcase. It's not a paid show, but it will give me more exposure and more opportunity and all that stuff, so that's great. And I got some other stuff that I'm working on behind the scenes, so once things are finalized, I will bring that up very loudly. It's just good praise, good news. But aside from that, yeah, I don't really like to talk about things that I will be doing. I like talking about them after, because it's done, you know. I was about to say I'm a doer, not a sayer. Doesn't make sense, because in comedy, like, what you do is you say things. So let me hydrate for a minute. I don't want to be rude. I hydrate a lot. I feel good now. You know, it always amazes me how not just how people watch videos like this, even if it's by the tens or the thousands or the millions or whatever, because there's only two kinds. There's a kind that are speaking, that supposedly, right, have good content, a lot to say, make it entertaining and stuff. And they have others, like the great, as I always say, the great, that was a little too high, Bill Burr, where he can just rant for an hour. I could do that too, but I like to mix it up. I like to mix it up throughout the week, because, you know, sometimes you're in the mood, something happens, and you just put all that shit together. But yeah, it always just amazes me how, I had a point. Oh yeah, I'm back. How there's like two kinds of people that watch all kinds of videos. There's the kind that are in them, or the kind that like to watch them. Me, I'm a little bit of both, and I guess it's possible. You can be. I'm a part of everyone, right? But yeah, you know what? I just realized. You know, I'm actually, part of what's, in my opinion, kind of interesting about this channel is that I'm figuring out things as I go along, right? And I just figured out now that in an equal way, in the way that I'd like to do this, and I hope people like to enjoy watching me and whatnot, go through this these stages and this whole process of comedy and acting and writing and stuff like that. You know, you don't just get to see me progress, but you get to actually see me as I'm making decisions and stuff like that. I might have to put this on pause for a minute. There's a cop right there. Ta-da! Cop is gone. I'm not really sure why that's so funny, but it is. I know I'm not doing anything illegal, but I just didn't want to record myself being pulled over by the police. You know, that wouldn't be fun. Besides, you'd probably tell me to turn the camera off. I'm cool with cops and shit. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with nobody. Listen to my great English grammar. I don't have a problem with nobody. Anyway, all I was saying is that it just, in short, always amazes me how entertaining, not just making videos, it is like this. My English is all over the place. Much apologies. But also how entertaining it is to watch. Because there's so much content out there, but in this day and this age, you can literally make your own content. And that's what's such a blessing, but it's kind of like a curse too. Because there's a lot of shit out there that's not interesting at all. I can't tell you how many crappy blogs there are, and I don't want to be one of them. I really don't. But I think it's important to update and document and do everything, because that's the whole purpose for this, you know? I believe in myself. I believe in my channel. Excuse me. I drank fast. I believe in myself. I believe in my channel. Sorry again. Sorry. I really don't want to be distracted, but I'm driving, and I'm not paying attention to the camera. I'm actually paying attention to the road. So I guess it's a good thing that I'm slightly, of course, more in tune with what's in front of me. Yeah, there's so much out there. It's kind of hard to find out what's good. But then again, it's kind of a good thing, because you can. It's such a double-edged sword, because it gives you the opportunity, social media nowadays, to rise to the top very quickly, very fast. But also, there's so much content out there. It's like, it's kind of tough, just because of the multitude of content out there. How to keep subscribers, keep listeners, keep people's attention. That's the reason you always got to be unique and be yourself, which is what I always am. I don't do what other people do. I just stick to myself and focus on myself. It's a waste. It's a waste of time, minutes, life, etc. To be focused on what other people are doing, because all you're doing is you're kind of like living your life based off of them and not based off of you. If a guy made an accomplishment doing a certain path, that doesn't mean that path doesn't work, but it also doesn't mean don't find your own. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people have different ways of doing things, comedy specifically. But yeah, I always just try to do things my own way. I've said before, I'm a skip the line kind of guy. I would rather go out to an amusement park or something like that and have that little pass where you can just like get in front. Or maybe I see like 5 registers open, and there's this weird thing that happens when you have people all collected together, that if there's like 5 registers and one of them is, or maybe even 2 of them or whatever, are completely full, the rest of it are completely empty. When somebody comes along, there's this weird thing that happens, and they talked about this as far as like sociology and stuff like that, just studying people. There's this weird thing that happens when they see everybody lined up in a formation. They kind of group together. It's really awkward, but I don't have that in me. I see the outlier, and I just sort of feel like, why would you stand in line? There's the other lines open. I just go in there. Now, it's an easy concept. It's an easy concept to understand. It's easy to say, easy to understand. But in reality, people do that constantly, and it is freaking weird. They had this one study where everyone was filling out a survey, and every time somebody walked in a room, there was like 5 people, and then it ended up being like 20 people. And I'm being completely serious, right? They had this one study where it was like 5 people, and they were all a part of this study, but they were the part that were like manipulating the study. And the study was, when every single person comes in, everybody stands up. And the first person there was like 20 other people that were the ones that were actually being studied. They were participating in it, but they didn't have a clue about when everybody comes in the room. Only the first 5 did. So the first 5, they had everything set up. They were a part of the actual like experiment. They were behind it, right? So they weren't really participating. But anyway, so they're pretending like they are there with everybody else. And what happens is, the first person comes in, everybody stands up, they watch a person sit down, and they're like, oh, that's weird, they stood up. And then everybody else sat down. And then another person came in, and the 5 people stood up. And just because everyone else was doing it, that 6th person, even though he wasn't in on that this was like a social experiment, he stood up too, and he waited for the next person to sit down. And then the more people that there were, people felt more compelled to follow the masses. And that's what I'm getting at. And it was all the way to the point of there was like 24 people, and when every person came, because the first 5 started doing it, numbers 6 through 24 did. So when number 25 came in, all 24 people stood up, and that 25th person sat down. And then when the person came in telling about the experiment, he came in and everybody stood up, and he said, why are you standing up? That was the whole experiment, is just basically understanding like the masses of how people react and stuff like that, to group, like a group experiment kind of a thing, as far as sociology goes and studying people. It's really crazy. Anyway, it's been fun hanging out. Hope you liked this video. I try to have it filled full with like more actual content instead of like rambling. I could do current events. I could. But sometimes I just like to free flow it. Pretty much all times. And I don't always like it to have, what is this jackass doing? I'm at a stop. He's at a stop. He's got to drive forward. Oh my gosh. I feel like I have to pay people to drive their cars when they're in their car. It doesn't make any sense. Not what I'm saying, but I'm like, I try not to use my horn, but after being at a stop for 5 seconds, maybe even 10, oh, I'm going to lay on the horn. I will. But anyway, all I was saying is I try to always have good content. And I might do current events at some point. And I don't like to always have it be about comedy, but I'm not opposed to it. You know, it's just whatever I want to talk about. So anyway, hope you all like this video. Come check me out. I'm getting better at my dates, and that's another quick update. I got to get off because I just pulled up to my house. But all I was saying is I'm getting better at memorizing my dates. I got a show today in Fort Worth, which is great. And I figured out how to make an actual like promotional image with all my dates on it. It looks really official. So hope you like this video. Come check me out. I'm Benja Well Done. I'm out. Peace.